The cost of a college education, it certainly does add up, and you can't just look at the tuition as an indicator of how much you'll pay.
In fact, to get the wider picture, you also have to look at other costs like room and board, books and supplies, and meal plans, like other living expenses too.
All right, so a recent report by the U.S. Government Accountability Office says the current financial aid offer process makes it difficult for students to compare offers and then determine if they can truly afford college.
And what can happen is that they can pick a college that is unaffordable to them. They may end up needing to rely on student loans or more student loans, or they may have a financial crisis when they're hit with unexpected costs because the college never told them up front what the real cost would be.
In response to that report, North Carolina U.S. Representative Virginia Foxx introduced the College Cost Transparency and Student Protection Act to make college choices more consumer friendly. She did this through the Committee of Education and Labor for Republicans.
Well, that GAO report found only 9% of college estimate the net price in financial and aid offers to prospective students. 50% of schools underestimate the net price by excluding key costs or factoring in the loans. And 41% of schools don't estimate the net price at all.
You think a financial aid offer, it's going to have the cost information as well as the aid information. But we actually found that over 20% of colleges in America have no cost data on that financial aid offer. The students may just get an offer that says this is the scholarship that you'll get, but they don't know what that means in terms of the actual cost that they're going to have to pay because there's no price data on that offer.
Hard to make decisions like that. The GAO recommends college follow 10 best practices in their financial aid offers. Those include providing a total cost of attendance that include key costs, estimating the net cost by only subtracting gifts, not loans, labeling the type of aid a student can get and where it comes from. Also, including next steps a student can take. That includes accepting, declining, or adjusting financial aid offers.
It's all in the hopes of standardizing the process, something that is not being done right now.
You could have the same exact cost and aid package from two different colleges, but one of those colleges could make it look like it's free to go to, and the other college could make it look like it costs $20,000 a year. And yet, in the end, the cost would be the same, but it would be so hard to know that up front because of the way they presented the information. And the concern is really that colleges have an incentive to not tell students and their families what that cost is, because if the cost seems high, students may choose not to go to that college.
If they go, they could end up in more debt. Student loan debt in the U.S. already totals more than $1.7 trillion, which accounts for more than 42 million borrowers. The average federal student loan debt balance is over $37,000.
Well, 26 million people applied for the student loan debt relief program that President Joe Biden announced in August. That program, of course, put on hold by an appeals court, forcing Biden to turn to the Supreme Court, which agreed to hear the case. Now, while we wait for all of this stuff to be sorted out, some people are wondering if they can still apply for forgiveness. Ariane Datel verifies.
During the pause, eligible borrowers were still encouraged to apply for up to $20,000 in relief on certain loans held by the Department of Education. But following this Texas ruling, people are now claiming that the application has been closed. But is that true? Let's verify. Our sources are the Student Loan Debt Relief Program application, the U.S. Department of Education, and Brown versus the U.S. Department of Education. The plaintiff in Brown versus the U.S. Department of Education argued that before a federal agency like the Department of Education can implement a program, they're required by law to seek public comment. On November 10th, a Texas court agreed, ruling the Department of Education illegally skipped that step before rolling out the student loan forgiveness plan. The court blocked the program after declaring it was unlawful. The next day, the application form for the student loan forgiveness program was taken down. So we can verify, yes, applications for the student loan forgiveness program are currently closed.
Again, the Supreme Court will take up the legal fight over the student loan forgiveness plan, but the court's ruling may not come until early summer, which is also around the time that the administration's latest pause on federal student loan payments is set to expire.
While student loans are on pause again, there is a play for you to take advantage of the situation. That means you can get ahead by doing 3 things right now. 1. While federal loans are accruing 0 interest, get a jump on any amounts above the forgiveness thresholds of $10,000 and $20,000. That is, as long as you can afford to do so. 2, you should also go to the website studentaid.gov and make sure that you've enrolled in auto debit. That will ensure that if the interest rate clock starts ticking again, you will not miss a payment. And 3, if your financial situation has changed, check out the loan simulator to determine if a different repayment plan better meets your needs or if consolidation might help. More than 16 million people have already gotten letters saying that their loan forgiveness has been approved. Well, that is on hold during the lawsuits, but President Joe Biden says they will fight to make sure this happens.
But I'm completely confident my plan is legal. But right now, it's on hold because of these lawsuits. We're not going to back down, though, in our fight to give families breathing room. That's why the Department of Justice is asking the Supreme Court of the United States to rule on the case.
The bottom line is that you've got at least 60 days until after all the lawsuits are settled, or August, whichever comes first, before the repayments start. But if you want to work ahead, now is the time.